year with him because I paused it to work on the teeter, which I just haven't been doing. So, and like his 2 on 2 off, we've been practicing at home a bunch, like on the board. So he's been doing the behaviors on the full dog walk, and he's just like nailing it. Like I can tell he totally understands what to do. Like he's fully clear on the 2 on 2 off on the dog walk, and like on the teeter, I'm not seeing that, but maybe it's lack of confidence on the else. Like I just don't know.
Mm-hmm. So worst case scenario, I foresee like transitioning, like showing him that it's also a 2 on 2 off on the teeter. Like, but I mean, he's certainly big enough that he can do it. But if you have a video of his dog walk and what his typical 2 on 2 off looks like, I wouldn't mind looking at that.
Okay.
Just so that if we do go that route, we can then we look at it and go, can he do the exact same type of 2 on 2 off, or will it need to modify a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. I will try doing like the pre-placed thing, like you said, and see if that helps them.
Yeah. I mean, because sometimes the simplest answer is just putting a loaded target there and like, look, it is right here. Come to this space. Good.
Yeah.
And just going from there. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated or sexy. It just needs to be
clear.
Yeah, just right here. Yeah. This is where the good things happen. So play around with some of those things.
Okay. I have one more question, but I don't want to hog the time if someone else.
Go ahead. I'm here. We got time.
So this is more about my puppy. So Laszlo, as you know, like has struggled with being very excited about the other dogs, especially when they're running. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's obviously a completely different dog than my puppy, but I'm just like really worried about repeating this same situation with her. One thing, like when I got him, it was peak COVID. So I didn't really like get him around much. I mean, I got him out as much as I humanly safely could, but there were no classes, there were nothing. Right. And like even the dog park by my house, like no one was going to the dog park. Like he just like didn't really see many other dogs, like until he was a little older, you know. So I'm scared I'm like going to create the same problem with my puppy. So I guess my question is like, how do I introduce like running dogs or like dog excitement or just that kind of stuff to her in a productive way?
Well,
but some people, I'm sure you like see people that just take their puppy into a trial and it's training and they're like, he'll get used to it.
Yes, I know that.
That's obviously not going to be what I do, but right. I'm worried that I'm going to be so scared of creating problems that I don't do anything and then I create a problem.
Okay, that's fair. So a lot of it is that we're selecting situations that they have skills for, while we build more skills so that they have more skills for more situations. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's the concept. So when they're young and they don't have as many feelings about things, we can sometimes expose them to more than we think because it's not as big a deal.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be a trial. It doesn't have to be the class, right? It can be parks where kids are playing and going wild, or dog parks where dogs are just sniffing. And
I was gonna take her to like a disc practice, like dog disc practice, where it's like at a big park, and so there'll be like quite a few dogs around. I think that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, like we have to ask, right? So it is the same thing. Like we don't know what she can and can't handle, and if you get into a situation and she can't handle it, you manage it and get the heck out, right?
Right.
And then you go, okay, well, she got bigger feelings about that than I thought.
Right.
And it could just be in the absence of skills, like, can you do a snuffle mat while all these dogs are playing this? Yeah. Can you chew on a thing while all these dogs are playing this? Can we just do some social play while they play on this? So kind of leaning towards, can you do less arousing things in the presence of high arousal activity? And then as that gets easier and easier, you can introduce high arousal activity too. Like, look, you get to do the thing as long as you can also do this thing. And it's going to be staggered and it's going to change, especially like the more you train her and then she starts to recognize I could be doing that. Right? It gets a little bit more difficult. But if she has the concept of I do low arousal things when I see high arousal things, and she has that idea,
Yeah.
when she's young and doesn't have such big feelings is so much easier later on.
Yeah.
But once they have big feelings, like once the fire gets out of control, it's much harder to contain it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to like go back into with Laszlo now.
Yes.
Like, you can do a sit stay while that dog is running.
Exactly.
So okay.
So trying, starting with the disc practice, that's, obviously it's going to be changing. It's going to be up and down, but it's going to be quite a bit. Like you said, it's not going to be like dead quiet and then all of a sudden everything is happening. Oh my God. So it would be kind of like a consistent type of activity. So that's a good place to start and go from there, because then you can say, okay, well, she could do it, but it was difficult. So then you look for, I don't know, human frisbee practice or disc golf or something that adjacent to, but or oh my God, that was way too hard. I need to find a nosework class she can watch.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that all makes sense. It's like the stuff that you know in your head, but then when it's your own puppy, you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is everything.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyone got anything else?
I have things if you have more time.
I do have more time.
I don't really have anything like urgent, but evidence suggests that it is better for these reverse reps if I don't repeat the same thing.
Okay.
Surprise. Like, I actually got two really good ones, one on a jump and one just on the wings. But like, it was on the jump, I did like a German turn first and then a reverse wrap, and it was gorgeous.
Okay. Yeah.
And on the wings, it was just like, I just did one where it was just like a 180, I went back and then did a 360, and that was also gorgeous. So I'm like, okay, but I guess I'm like trying to take a leap of faith that is actually going to help.
Well, it tells us that she's anticipating something. So it tells us that something about the reverse wrap cue is cueing the little bouncy bounce.
Right.
But she's not looking for it. If she thinks like it's, but it doesn't, because that part has to be the same, right? So because she's going into a German and she knows it's a German because she's not bouncing at those things. So it starts the same, and then whatever doesn't happen, probably you moving away, is causing the issue.
Yeah, I think my suspicion is like she just doesn't like it when she feels like I'm running into her bubble. And when
kind of fits with who she is.
Right. She's like, stop running me over. I'm like, I'm not running you over. She's like, yes, you are. You're just not aware of the bubble that surrounds me.
So then, like, do we split that with, obviously she'd run in and cross in front of your body to strike a toy. You could
I've done, not like, this isn't a reward strategy that I use often, but like I have one thing that I do is like, if I'm going to have her come to me to strike a toy, I have her like go between my legs, because when I started doing that, anytime she was having to like come at me to strike a toy, it was very stocky. So like having her just like making space for her to go in between my legs so she just goes through me has like helped with that. I will say I've kind of wondered if maybe part of this reverse wrap thing is like, maybe I just need to be practicing having her come to hand and like doing a little circle around me and rewarding that, because it's like I don't do that very much.
Well, it's annoying to both of us. To both you and the dog. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that if she, because it's not necessarily the opposing motion that she has with it, it's your proximity to each other and then having opposing motion.
Yeah.
Okay, so if she's like coming from your right side and the toy is in your left hand, will she come across, like will she cut in front of you to take the toy? Or
I'll have to ask her.
you could ask her, or if not from your hand, you could have it, so she's on your right, you could have it placed next to your left foot. Can she come across it and like you send her to the toy and you take off running, the same as you would in the reverse wrap. So like, can we break it into a concept without practicing the hippity hoppity? It's very cute.
No, it's not. I hate it so much.
Funny. No, it's not. Never, Sarah never says anything bad about her dog ever. I hate it. It's not cute. She's terrible. Well, at least we know you're motivated to change it. I think I would start there because, like, if she's gonna be sticky, we're gonna get it with this setup.
Yeah. So place the toy like on my left side, not necessarily right next to me, but like so she has to cut in front of me to get to her.
Yes, exactly. She has to cut because or you can start with a food bowl if you think she's gonna be too sticky for the toy. But I mean, she's gonna try and go behind you. She's gonna try and like so. Maybe it's actually like a little bit in front of you to start, but definitely to the side. So she has to go past you, in front of you, then she gets it, and you're going to start moving away before she gets it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I can ask her that. That sounds like a good warm up for our dog walk training tonight.
Yeah. It's certainly worth asking. Because it could be like that thing with the weave bowls that we were like, this is gonna be a great split, and it was just so easy for her. It's either going to produce a problem or it's going to be very easy and maybe help.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll give it a shot because I'm like, I'll try anything to get rid of the hippity hop.
Yeah. I agree.
I still want to see that. I still want to see it now.
There's video in the forum.
I'll be looking.
Okay. And I have been thinking, I know you said in one of your comments that maybe a different verbal cue, which I'm like, I had actually thought that, like, I don't know, my brain wants to explode when I think of that, because I must think it would have to be like a different verbal cue for when I'm actually on top of the jump versus when I'm sending her to a reverse wrap, like.
Right, well, I think that if you're on top of the jump, you don't need a word at all.
Right. So, yeah, and when I'm truly on top of the jump, I feel like just calling her is, if there are any words, calling her name is enough of a word.
Right, like, come here to me. Gosh, where are you going? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the one to be like, and we'll just add another word. But if that's what's causing the problem, like if she's preparing to slice and then realizing it's a wrap, and so now she's like, I'm already prepared to slice and now it's going to be harder for me to wrap, would knowing that she's wrapping sooner help her? But I feel like she's got to know based on you not moving.
Right.
Because if it's a slice, you get out of there really fast. You don't ever really stop.
Right.
So well, I feel like it's more the pressure bubble. Why are you going to step on my line? Sort of.
Yeah. I'll like shelve adding a new verbal cue for, like after the open and tryouts.
Totally. We don't have enough time for that anyways. But I would maybe like if you do any like sequencing or course running, thinking about
not giving it to her. Okay. Okay, well we'll keep playing with that and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Another
yeah. I also, so I did a session this morning on the flat